afternoon, everyone. I'm Jolene Lee. I'm an architect and researcher based in Berlin. Today I'm excited to present my studio for this semester, Adaptive Transformation, Reimagining Office Structures for Future Living. Before diving into the topic, I would like to briefly introduce myself to give you some context about my background and how they align with the studio's topic. Providing you just with more insights into the perspective I bring into this course. Over the last 7 years, my professional works have focused on adaptive transformation, living spaces, and third places. I gained my experience as an architect since 2017 in collaboration with FACT Office for Architecture, MOOC PZ Architekten, Brandenburg Plus, and in the last 2 years I was one of the 5 partners of B+, and recently this year I started as an independent architect myself. In parallel since 2022, so about 2 years now, my academic work has centered on adaptive transformation and alternative ownership models, where I've been involved in 7 design studios at ETH Zurich, at Station Plus, chair of Arno Brandhuber, as well as University of Innsbruck, Academie van Bouwkunst Amsterdam, University of Genova as part of a larger initiative, House Europe. It's a European Citizens Initiative who advocates for EU policies for renovation instead of demolition. And this semester here at Münster School of Architecture, as well as Dessau International Architecture. So now that you know a bit about my background, let's dive into the studio topic itself, adaptive transformation, reimagining office structures for future living. This studio seeks to redefine our urban landscape and reimagine how we will live together. We'll explore how office structures can be transformed into innovative living spaces for tomorrow. In an era of polycrisis from material scarcity, unsustainable resource extraction, land finiteness, housing shortage, anthropogenic climate change, to name a few, how can Europe house everyone? Now some facts. The first, we are building more than ever, and yet the reality that we are running out of homes is undeniable. How is that possible? Despite an increasing amount of building permits being issued, much of the focus has been on office spaces, leaving a gap in housing availability. Number 2, the building sector is one of the largest contributors, responsible for nearly 40% of CO2 emissions. And to give you some context, the building sector is contributing 35 to 40% of CO2 emissions annually in Europe, in comparison to the devil we know, aviation, which accounts to 3.8 to 4%. And the third and last, with the European Green Deal pushing for a climate neutral EU by 2050, the role of architects in transforming existing buildings becomes critical. So together, these 3 factors set the stage for our studio. How can adaptive transformation change the building sector and also affect the way we live together? Here I would like to quote Saskia Herbert, an architect and transformation scientist. She said, "The greatest challenge for architects is to create a self-sustaining practice in times of post-growth." This studio's topic aligns closely to my practice, as I strongly believe that the policy change which can drive the biggest impact needs to happen. Since the pandemic, we have witnessed significant changes in how we work, how we live, and the collapse of outdated financial models in the building sector. Therefore, I'm convinced that in the near future, it will leave us with even more empty office buildings waiting to be transformed. As a strategic and analytical architect myself, I believe we must begin preparing for this in alignment with the renovation wave, which is coined and initiated by the EU Parliament in 2020. So the studio's meta topic will encompass a crucial skill integral to the role of an architect of today, which is forecasting the needs of our urban environment in relation to the overarching question of how will we live together. The aims of the semester studio are the first to analyze the existing structure of the office typology, examining its permanent and non-permanent elements in relation to potential transformation, understand the fundamentals of what makes a space fit for living by analyzing norms and regulations while also questioning their relevance in today's context. And the last, vigorously experimenting design strategies of how we can reuse the permanent structures of the office typology to address housing needs. So concretely, we will work on 5 case studies that I have developed of abandoned office towers, stripped back to its bare structure, but set in a parallel reality. So this DNA of this typology, architecture of a financial tool, is rooted in a very straightforward grid system, from parking layout to column, facades, and even office layout itself. Everything follows a very logical and rational system. So besides your chosen structure, you have the freedom to transform it into any living model you envision. Throughout the course, we will suspend politics to create an environment for experimentation and derive a set of realistic design strategies that can be applied to buildings of a similar typology. So although we are not working with a fixed site in reality, the work that you produce has the potential to influence this typology and our urban landscape on a global scale, as these structures exist all around the world. By the end of the course, you'll be equipped with a design toolbox to tackle future challenges in the architecture field, including concept development and storytelling through diagrams, solid plans, and physical models. And here I would like to quote Oana Bogdan, who is an architect and former politician, who said, "Facts are no longer enough to really convince people. We have to tell a story." This studio's topic is being conducted in collaboration with Professor Christiano Lepratti and Martina Guasco from the University of Genoa's international program called Masters of Architectural Composition. They will continue this topic into their spring semester next year. So the studio will be held in English and in form of group work. And here's just a quick overview of the semester schedule. The format consists of studio days, AMAs, Ask Me Anything, but only about architecture, and presentations. So every 2 weeks, we'll have an in-person studio day with desk grids. At the start of the semester, we'll do it in a class setting, and later we'll transition into individual group grids as the semester progresses. The other weeks will be supplemented with an online lecture series where I've invited peers as guest speakers who will speak about themes like adaptive transformation and living, offering real-world context and inspiration. And following the lectures, we'll move into this AMA session where you can sign up as an individual or group. It doesn't really matter to ask me anything related to architecture and not necessarily just your coursework. The semester will be divided into these 3 overlapping phases: research, design, and production. There'll be 2 milestone presentations, midterm and final, where we'll be joined by guest crits. And additionally, we will have a final rehearsal, which is like a final presentation before the exam break, just to get you ready for your final presentation 2 weeks later. I'm very excited to create a collaborative and open environment together, offering you the creative freedom to explore design strategies. And this course is an opportunity for us to experiment, challenge conventions, and shape the future of our urban landscape equipping you with the tools to tackle real-world architectural challenges. Cannot wait to work with you on your unique solutions that you will develop along the semester. And if you are joining us, please bring your laptop and an image reference to the first class. The image reference should be in relation to the topic of living, and a few sentences to describe how it interests you. It can be related to a certain typology, principle, material, a certain situation that you like, just as an icebreaking for the first day. So I'm looking forward to see you on the 2nd of October, so next Wednesday. The classes will be on Wednesdays. We start at 12:30 on the Stedebaudach in Gebäude 5. And thank you for all your attention.